I should be live here. Let me just do the quick share thingy. Then I do. Okay. Let's see if we have anybody come in. Hello, Amanda. How are you tonight? I'm doing good, thank you. Okay. Look, was waiting for one more person maybe, and then we'll get started. Other than that, we may get started. See if I can poke him. Okay. Alright, well, we'll get started here. And this will always be there for everybody to view on demand as well, for those who might come in late. But tonight, I wanted to introduce a game that I kind of have spoken of in the community a little bit. And one that I just haven't seen played, and I think it would be beneficial to show off what it can do. And there he is. Hi Beatles, how are you tonight? There you are, buddy. Yeah, I think this is something that would be beneficial to do, because I think people do not really know what all you get with this game and what this game can do. This game is called 4th Street Baseball. And it is a fantastic game. I mean, from the looks of it on the surface, you know, if you're looking at it on the surface right now, it doesn't look like much, but it really is, and it's really fantastic. So we'll go ahead and delve into this, and what I want to show off more than anything is the various features you get with this game. So here we go. First thing that you do when you get this game is you will want to load up the season that you own. And that is very simple. You go down to File and you select Open. Now I've already opened it, so I can also select the file right here, but I will show you by doing Open. And this will pop up. And this will pop up. We have somebody new in the chat. Viper Dave, how are you tonight? So this will pop up, and this is where you will select what season you have. Now, something to note is if you want to try the free demo of this game, all you get currently is the 2016 All-Star teams. However, I've been in touch with a developer regarding this, and hopefully that might change in the not-so-distant future. But let's go with 2018. And then you will click 2018, and then this baseball 2018 file with the baseball icon next to it is what you click on next. And it will open up, it should open up the season here in just a bit. Hopefully Beatles is still with us here. So yeah, so it opens up, and this is what you get. This is your league now. As you can see, these boxes right here are 4 divisions: AL East, AL Central, AL West, and then NL East, NL Central, and NL West. And you can move amongst them by clicking on them. You can also do whatever you want with these. You can change these divisions however you want. You can move between divisions. You can even get rid of divisions. And you can pretty much customize this any way you want. Okay, that's good to know you're still here, because I only show one viewer for some reason on my stream, so that's kind of weird. But yeah, so you can customize this. You can't change the season year, but you can change the organization name and the organization's initials. Then you can go down and you can even change the teams. You can edit the teams as much as you want. You can add their city and a nickname as well. And then you can also change their logo and their team colors and their player color. And then in this box right here, where you see the AL East and these teams and all that, this is where you see their standings at a glance on the home screen. So that is very beneficial right there. And then off to the right here, where you see the calendar, this is where you do everything with your schedule. Now, as you can see, I have already played opening day of 2018, and it's not the exact 2018. What I did, and what I will show you that you can do, is you can generate a new schedule automatically, and it is very easy to do. The nice thing about this game is you can use the original schedule. You can wipe the original schedule and generate one of your own, or you can use the as played schedule, and you have a choice of whether you use the as played schedule or not. As played schedule means that you will play as the season as played. The same lineups that were set for that particular game will be the lineups you use. That's weird. It shows 1 for me. I wonder if I... Hold on. I'm going to go exit out of this stream real quick and then enter back in. There we go. Now it shows 5. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I fixed that. Just a little pause there to fix that, because that 1 was kind of triggering me. But as you can see, below the calendar is where all the games that are scheduled for that day are. And these games have already been played. So if I move to March 30th, There we go. March 30th games come up, and as you can see, the check mark boxes next to them mean they have yet to be played. And we will get into playing a game here towards the end of this stream. Now, a couple things I would like to note is that you can go in and create a new organization, a blank organization, and customize that with any team names you want. You can do a fantasy draft with that organization using the players from the season you own and the season you create that organization in. Only 3 participants though, dun dun dun. But very cool participants we are. Yes, you all are. I appreciate you all. So, that is stuff you can do with this. Now, what I will go through first is I will show you the draft screen. This is where, if you want, you can go to draft. You can release all players from all teams, release all players on the team selected. Then you can auto draft. You can auto draft one player. You can auto draft to fill rosters. And you have to select the number of rounds on draft order tab. And then you can also automatically place the players back on their original teams. So it's very nice. If you do want to do this, you can always undo it as well. You're not totally stuck because you can return all players to their original teams. Now we have the New York Yankees here, for instance, and one of the nice features of this game is, say I click on Jose Abreu's name, then I have various options I can do with that. I can add I can choose to add the currently selected player to the team, although he's already added, so I can remove him. And then this is the trade button down here below. Pressing the trade button will release the selected player from his current team and enable the drop down box to the right so that you can select his new team. And this is how you do trades. It's a little clunky, but it is doable. I haven't messed with trades yet. I'm only 1 game into the season, so I have not done anything with that yet. The other thing you can do, and this is really nice, is search for players. And then this button will allow you to auto draft a player onto a team. And then this button down here, now that I have Jose Abreu selected, when I click it, it brings up Jose Abreu's card. Is it possible to import teams from other leagues as you can in Action PC Baseball? Beatles asks. I don't think it is currently. That would be a great suggestion for Brian. Brian, if you do watch this later on, I think that is something that would really make it a good selling point for this game right there, is the ability to do that, because you have games out there like Action PC that do this, and even for seasons that people own, once you own a season, this should be something that you should be able to do. So this brings up his card, which is a very complex card, and the game is based off a board game, and really You don't see the play results on the card when you're playing a game, but it is neat to look at his card. It shows his stats down below and everything like that. So then you click the red X to close it out. So really, this is all there is to the draft. It really is nice because you can go in and make a fantasy draft. So that is something that is really nice about this game. So I will go ahead now and I will exit out of the fantasy draft screen. And it's doing some sort of loading up thing. I don't know why this. I'll have to ask Brian sometime why it always does that after leaving a screen. But the next thing you have is rotation. This is where you can set your starting rotations and your relief rotations. And you can do it for every single team. So you can go in and edit it for every single team. So that really is all there is to that screen. It's not very complicated at all. The next one is lineups. Here's where you can set the lineups for each team. Again, by selecting a team. And then what's really nice about this game is that there are preset lineups for every single team versus left-handed pitcher and right-handed pitcher. Each situation has 5 different preset lineups. So if you don't feel like setting a lineup, you don't have to. You can use preset lineups and they work just as well. The next screen on here is the stats display. And here is where you see all your stats. And this can be a little clunky as well. So here's where you will see all your stats that have been generated from games that have been played. Right now this is team stats for New York, for the New York Yankees. Now we go over here and there are several buttons that you'll see. You can display the box score for a game. You can display a mini box score. You can display game logs. You can display season stats. So let's open up that. And that's what we're on actually, so never mind that. The next button is the standings. Let's open up the standings. And this is the standings here for all the divisions. And you'll notice that now you can enable, one of the things I suggested to Brian is the wild card standings of sorts. This wild card games behind shows basically your wild card standings at a glance within the division standings. It's really nice. Then you have league stats. You select that, you drop down box, go to hitting. This is your hitting stats. You can also do the same for pitching. And then you can also do the same for fielding. So those are really nice. And then you have your league leaders. League leaders in hitting. This one's kind of taking a little bit to generate here. So I'll check the chat while it does that. How are you all doing so far? You all enjoying this? I hope you all are. I mean, we haven't really gotten into a game yet, but we will eventually here in a little bit. I just kind of want to show everything off. Should be almost done. Yes, this is the 2018 batting leaders for various categories. You can also do the same for pitching. You're welcome, Beatles. You're quite welcome. I hope this helps you, if you're interested in the game. Here are your pitching stats. I do not know why it's... Oh, I found a bug. Brian, I found a bug. I found a bug. Right here, MLB 2018 batting. Yeah, clearly we are on pitching stats. So you might want to check that. And then fielding. Yeah, that might be true, Amanda. Yeah, but when I don't make any changes, I don't know why I get that. So, yeah. And again, there's that bug again for fielding stats. It's showing up here too, so Brian, you may want to look at that when you look at the stats if you get a chance. And then the really nice thing here, Beatles, you might like this. You might like this, buddy, because I know you and I've talked about what Out of the Park can do with being able to compare your replay to actual. You can do this here too. This green button over here, compare replay to actual. Click on it, go to hitting. And of course right now it's too early, but when you get closer to the end of the season, you can compare players' hitting stats on a team, on any team you select, to their actual stats. You can do the same for pitching. And for fielding. So I hope you find that maybe checking for any changes, but a suggestion for Brian might be to hide away that loading checking bar thing. Yeah, that might be, that would just be, one of the aesthetic things, maybe to make it an option to do that, but sometimes people like to know it's nice that it's working on something. So, not something I terribly complain about. I think it's nice to have it there. But yeah, and this feature really is nice. I know you've talked, Beatles, about having that in Out of the Park baseball. It's here too. It is here as well. Now there's menu options. For various things, you can display game stats, season stats, league stats for all, or League 1 or League 2. That's what the defaults are. You can change that, I believe. You can compile stats. You also can reset stats. You can clear everything out, delete game stat files, and you're ready to go for a new season. Hello, Ken Castro. How are you tonight? Keyboard sucks. So yeah, you can do all that. You also have an option for special reports, text display, fielding editor, pitching editor, hitting editor. You can edit things. Extracted stats. There's various tabs here within, and it's really, really very nice. So that's really all there is to the stats screen. Again, it put me back on the 29th. Brian, if you listen to this, why does it keep going back to the day that I've already played? Shouldn't it go to the day I'm currently on? I mean, can you maybe, I don't know, leave a comment about why that might be? Because, yeah, I keep having to switch to the day of which we're going to play games, so... So we've gone through draft, we've gone through rotation, we've gone through the lineups and the stat display. Now you can import all team info from previous season, team colors from previous season, weather and stadium info from previous season, and import players from previous season. Weather and stadium info for previous season, very key thing because there is weather effects in this game. It's a bit like APA for Windows in that you can have rain delays, you can have rain outs as well. And there's an option to even disable weather outs in this game as well if you don't want to have weather outs. But keep in mind that, and I have heard from Brian on this, that if you do elect to have weather outs and the game is not an official game and your game is rained out, gets rained out, you will have to manually reschedule the game. I don't know how hard that is compared to something like APA for Windows. Beatles has said that doing it on APA for Windows is really, really easy. I don't know how easy it is to do here, so you have that. Now, the really fun part. It seems that some in the community are of the opinion that Strat is the most accurate game out there. I would love to know their research method to draw such a conclusion. I agree, Beatles, I agree. Who do you think lost connection, Amanda? I'm still here. Can you all hear me? Can you all hear me okay? I want to make sure that you all can hear me. Alright, awesome. Yeah, Amanda, that's happened to me at times watching other people's streams. I don't understand why that happens. I think it's internet on probably the viewers' end. I'm not entirely sure, but it is annoying how that can happen. Okay, let's continue now. The fun thing about this is Ballpark. You can go in and you can edit any team's ballpark. And this is very, very complex. I do wish I had Brian in here to help me explain these numbers, because this is something that I'm really, really dumb about. But you see the blue and orange markers all the way around the outfield here? That is where the wall is in New York's ballpark. And then you want to see it. You can even name the ballpark as well. and you can import weather by city. And then you can go to each ballpark. Let's go to Boston. It's going to load up Boston's ballpark. And there's what Fenway looks like. And there's its walls and its dimensions. And you can go for any of the teams and you can edit it as much as you want. Again, I am not really savvy as to what these numbers are. I have not touched editing or creating a ballpark, but it is doable. It is very, very doable. So yeah, it is very doable. So we'll close that out because that's basically all there is to the ballparks. Now there is other things in this menu that I will show you. You have the open file, you have player editor. Player editor Let's open up Player Editor. And it's going to load. Cousin, you can make Elysian Fields. Yeah, yes, you can. You certainly can, especially if you start with a blank team or a blank league. You certainly can, because then you can go in and create from scratch the ballparks. So while this loads, does anybody have any questions so far? The Baker Bowl. The Baker Bowl. Keyboard. I like that. Baker Bowl. Field of dreams and they will come. Exactly. Okay. So Player Editor is up. You can basically edit any player. You can create new files and open import file. And then you can do a basic hitter, basic pitcher player as well. I'm looking for here. You can sort players, you can delete a player, you can add a new player. So you can add new players to your game. Calculate this hitter, generate this hitter, generate all hitters. And then there's this can't reach this page down here, Brian. I don't know what that's about, but yeah. But it looks like you can search players and find players and edit them as much as you want. So that is a good thing to note right there. So we go on team management. This is basically the draft screen. We've already been through that. Do you prefer the Locrian mode or Dorian? I'm not sure what that means. I will let you elaborate on that. Ken Castro asks, Rob, how's the gameplay in terms of flow and overall enjoyment? You will get a sense of the game, how the game plays, towards the end of this stream, because I promise I'm going to open up and play a couple innings for you, because there's still more to show. I am not done yet. Is this early access or beta? Amanda asks. Is this early access or beta? No, this is full release. This is full release. No early access, no beta. It's been out for quite a while. I mean, Brian would have the insight on how long it's been out for. I've only just recently discovered it in the last couple months, but I really, really enjoy it. Well, you asked if we had any questions, so I asked a music theory question. Okay. Okay, yeah. I guess Dorian, I don't know, you know. But yeah. So, yeah, I promise you'll get a look at how this game plays. Rotation, lineups, stats. Okay. Now comes the fun part. Schedule editor. Another fun part. You click on this, and it brings up the schedule editor, and you can edit. You can select all the games, you can deselect all games, select all games for a particular team that's selected, deselect all teams for particular games for a particular team, and then you can delete the entire schedule. And you can only do that for the original schedule. You cannot delete the as played. The as played is in there. It will you cannot delete that. So you really cannot do much with the as played schedule, but you can display it using this box if you wanted to. So say you don't like playing with the actual schedule as originally scheduled. You can go and you can delete the entire schedule, and then you can go over to this other tab right here that is auto schedule. You can enter in the proposed number of games, the number of games versus division opponents, versus league opponents, and versus non-league opponents. You can also set series length for each of those as well. Number of teams, 30 in this case. You definitely want to leave it to the number of teams you have in your league. And number of divisions, same as well. Same as the number that you have in your league, which is in this case 6. Number of leagues, it says conferences, but it's leagues. 2. Number of games scheduled. I assume that's if you have games already scheduled. Then, and Brian, there's a little bug here with the season start date box being covered by a button that says start day number, and then months per season you can set to 6, usually if you want a 162 game season, and then you press the auto schedule button and it will auto generate you a schedule for you. It's really pretty good, the schedule that you'll get. So that is how you work with that. And then you can manually schedule games, you can delete games. You can import a schedule from RetroSheet. You can import as played from RetroSheet as well. So, yeah, Beatles, I know that was something else you talked about, being able to do an APA. I think you can, it looks like you can do that here as well. So we'll exit that screen. Ballparks and weather we've seen. Settings and preferences. There's a lot of settings you can use. You can set the roster sizes. You can set whether you're using the designated hitter. Number of innings same for all teams. Fatigue system can either be endurance or pitch count. That's home team preferences. All team preferences. Again, you can set these for all the teams. And if you do that, you're going to have to select all the teams that you want this to be done for. This button here, I guess it doesn't really do anything. Then you have settings, compile stats immediately after game. Very good, very useful if you are playing regular season games and want to go ahead and compile stats immediately after a game's over. It will automatically do it. Delete stats file after compiling. I don't have that checked. I don't know, because I'm not sure exactly what that does. Use auto place for fielders. Automatically hold runner at first. Display first names of batters. Display fielder text box. Display pitcher text box. Manually enter dice roll. That's if you're rolling your own dice. If you're rolling your own physical dice, you can do so and manually enter the dice roll, and then click a button and it will show you the play result. Use injury system. Use weather outs. If left unchecked, no games will be canceled due to weather like rain. Ball strike influence on auto pitch selection. Use schedule lineups when possible. Use as played schedule. Disallow doubles down line. Unless run braiding is at least, and you can enter that as well. Miscellaneous ones is basically your wild card teams, how many wild card teams you want per league. I set it to 1 because I don't like the wild card game round. So, but that is really all there is to that screen. Medical, this is where you will see injuries, I do believe, if players are injured. But that is all for that. Manager editor. You can make strategy adjustments for bunting, hit and run, stealing, running, base running, defense, pitching, the manager editor is designed to give a team a flavor of its manager tendencies during a game. Most of the information consists of sliders with values ranging from -10 to 10. A default value of 0 indicates that the manager will behave per the norm compared with other managers. For each tick on the slider, the manager will deviate by about 10% from the norm. A setting of -10 means the manager will not call for a particular strategy in that situation, whereas a setting of 10 means it will be called twice as frequently as the norm. So, Beals, I think what we were talking about earlier today, you were wondering about if managers can be adjusted. I believe they can. So, I believe this is what would adjust a computer, an AI manager, and its behavior. So, and then there's modifications you can make to it as well for bunting, hit and run, stealing, running, infield in, and intentional walk. So there you have that. And then data importer. Is where you can import data for your season somehow. I haven't messed with that, so yeah. So right now at this point, does anybody have any questions about the game? Oh no, not about the game. LOL. Okay, Amanda, I will address your question then later. Beatles, Ken. Beatles, Ken, Combat Painter. Any questions from you all so far before I delve into the next part of this? None? So far so good. Okay. Alright, well, in this case, I believe it's time to show you how the game plays. And again, I will correct the date on the calendar. Brian, will you please maybe fix that? Okay. Now, when selecting a game, it's very simple to select a game to play. You just click on any one of the games that's scheduled to be played, and you don't have to play them in strict order. You can play any one you want. So we'll just do this top one here, Tampa Bay at Boston. And you'll see it appear here under Visitors and Home, down below on the bottom of the screen, Tampa Bay at Boston. You can resume it, or you're ready to play. You can resume game, so if you don't want to finish a game right away, it looks like you don't have to, you can resume it later. But we're ready to play, so we click on Ready. And the Tampa Bay lineup screen comes up. This is the visitor roster lineup. You also can switch to the home roster lineup. Now, before we get into lineups, what I like to do, very first thing before I set my starting lineup for my hitters, is I like to go to the Rotations tab. This tab shows how tired each pitcher is. And their fatigue level, like Blake Snell pitched opening day, and he's really tired. I'm not going to use him opening day for Tampa Bay. Same with Porcello. Now, I guess I accidentally used Stanek in opening day, so I'm going to skip him in the rotation, and I'm going to go with Chris Archer. So, I go find Chris Archer, and I click on him, and I put him in the pitcher spot. And then I go back to rotations to check the Boston rotation. And I will go with David Price since he's next for Boston. So I go to Boston. I look for David Price. I click on him. And I put him in. David Price. And as you can see down below, it says Christian Vasquez out for one more game. That's because he is injured. Tampa Bay does not have any injuries, so we're good to go there. Now, I'm just going to do a preset lineup. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look again at rotations, and I'm going to see that David Price is a left-handed pitcher. So for Tampa Bay, I'm going to go preset left-hand versus left-handed pitcher 1. And it looks like Brian has improved the screen in updates since I last played, and I really, really like this. It highlights the players in the roster that have been put into the starting lineup. I really, really like this. Hello, D. Scott Howard. How are you doing tonight? So yeah, I really, really like. That's really a nice change. Way to go, Brian, on that. That is excellent. And I noticed the check boxes too. It looks like for making players available. So now I go to home roster. Pitchers are set. Pitchers still set. I go to rotations and I look, and Chris Archer is a right-handed pitcher. So I go back to the home lineups, and I'm just going to do versus right-handed pitcher 1. And there is the lineup for Boston. Now, game types. You have normal, you have helper, you have autoplay. You can autoplay the game to finish. Run schedule. I'm confused about this one. Again, Brian, if you maybe want to comment on that, because I guess maybe runs the entire schedule for the day. Maybe that's my guess. I've not tried it because I like to play every game. And then down below, Beatles, you were wondering about this, is where you can set whether the managers are human or AI for both visiting and home teams. I'm going to set them both to AI because that's just, it's just easier for right now because we're not even going to play the full game. So, and then you click OK and you're all set. And the game screen comes up. And when it first comes up, it's loading the ballpark. And it's also doing a dice roll check for weather. Weather is very important because if it's raining, there becomes a chance during the game for rain delay and a canceled game due to rain. So it does happen. It does happen every now and then. So the date is March 30th, 2018, Boston. Weather, wind blowing out, mild, no sign of participation. Or, excuse me, precipitation, not participation. Blah, blah, blah. And then up in the top right corner is where you will see stuff regarding the weather. It shows the wind, in this case wind blowing out, precip none, and temperature it says none. It's always done that. Brian, can you please maybe add temperature to this? I don't know why it says none, because having no temperature would be like having 0 degrees and it'd be freezing all the time, and that would not be good. Wow, you really, really, really like that, yeah. Yeah, except, yeah, Brian needs to fix temperature somehow. So you click begin game, and we are ready to play, and we're just going to play a couple innings here to show off what this game is all about. So leading off for Tampa Bay is Smith. And below you see right here, that is where his stats are for the year, batting stats. And then there's David Price's pitching stats in the bottom right corner. And all the fielders are in their position and we're ready to play. So what we first do is we click Get Count. A dice roll occurs to determine the count. There's no outs and it's a 1 ball and no strike count. That means the pitcher has thrown 1 ball and no strikes. You click manual dice roll, and here's the pitch from Price, and it hits Smith in the front foot. So it's a hit batter, and he will take first. So that is how the game starts, is with a hit batter. So after the dice roll to get the count, there's another dice roll to determine the result of the at-bat. So now comes to bat C.J. Cron with Smith on at first and nobody out. You click Get Count again. It's a 1-0 count again. Here comes the pitch. Check swing. He couldn't hold up, and that's strike 3, and that's a strikeout, so there's 1 out. So, Matt Duffy steps in now as the next hitter. You get the count again. It's 0-2. Fastball to Duffy, strike 3, and Duffy strikes out, so there's 2 outs. It's a little bit repetitive. I may do a game, human versus human, sometime to show you what that does. Maybe with the all-star team, so I'm not having to mess up what I'm doing with my season, because this is how I play my season games. And games really, really, really do play fast. I mean, when I'm not streaming this, if I'm not streaming this, I'm just playing the game. It doesn't take me very long to play a game. 45 minutes, I can have a game done. But Ramos steps in. You get the count again, a 2-0 count. Fastball, swing and a miss, and he strikes out, and Price strikes out the side. So they strand Smith at first, and we go to the bottom of the first, and Boston will come to bat. So, how are you all liking this so far? Making somewhat sense. I know it's kind of, because you're not seeing what the human manager has to do. I promise I will do a stream showing that with all-star teams at a future time. But I just wanted to show you kind of how the game plays. Is there any questions so far? I think you're doing a very nice job. Well, thank you, Beatles. I really appreciate it. I really, really appreciate it. Do you have any questions about how this game is playing? How far back do the seasons go? Excellent question. Excellent question. I will show you. we go to the 4th. This is the 4th Street baseball website right here. 4th Street Software website. It is 4thstreetsoftware.com, as you see up there in the address thing. You go to baseball. You go down to computer game. And you have options to get a CD-ROM, which is a little bit more expensive, or the computer game, which is download, which is $5 cheaper. You can also get the game demo. Yeah, it says $0, and it does have you check out. That's just the way Brian has the site set up. You won't be charged for the demo. And then there's an activation code you can get for the demo for the same price as the game download. Then you have computer game season CD-ROM, which is $5 more than computer game season downloads, which season downloads are $19.95. And you buy 2 seasons, you get 1 free. Also, if you like to buy the game, you do get a free season of your choice. The seasons go back to as far as 1960. They go 1960, 1961, 62, 63. Then they make a jump to 1975, 1976. Then another jump to 1982, 89, and then you're into the 2000s. 2005, 2006, 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, and last year, 2018. Yeah, there is gaps in this. I just want to check something. I just want to see if it's the same for CD-ROM. Hello. It looks like it is the same for CD-ROM, so nothing different with CD-ROM. The same seasons are offered. So yeah. I mean, there's gaps in there. I hope Brian will do more seasons. I really, really do. Brian, if you're watching this, yeah, I think more seasons would be great to have offered. So hopefully that helps you there, Beatles, so far. So I will put that back down and bring up the game. Any other questions so far? Would you all like me to see? Would you like me to play a bit more, or are you all good? Just waiting to see what y'all think. Sure, play more. Okay. I'll play another half inning here or so. So bottom of the first, and Boston will have Mookie Betts to lead it off against Chris Archer. We get the count. It's an 0-2 count, and here's the pitch from Archer inside, and Betts works a walk out of the 0-2 count. So he reaches first. Benintendi stepping in, and it's a 3-0 count. Lead runner steal, and it's a walk anyway. So runners on first and second, so no stolen base. J.D. Martinez steps in, get the count. A double steal is on, 1-1 count. Strike call to throw down. Betts is safe at third. And so the double steal works. And so we roll the dice again to finish the at-bat. Just missed the corner, ball 4, and the bases are loaded. So the bases are loaded for Boston with nobody out. And here's Mitch Moreland. A 2-0 count. Fly ball, medium deep to right. Smith gets under it and makes the catch. And Betts scores on the sacrifice, and Boston has a 1-0 lead. So as you can see, when you have the AI managers on, the AI managers will make calls like stealing, bunt. They will make substitutions. They will make pitching changes and all that. The AI managers will do all that, and you just click through the game as though you're watching it. So 1 out, runners on first and second for Bogarts. And another double steal is on a 3-0 count. And the double steal works yet again. So runners on second and third. We get the counting, or we get the play result again. And there's a double just to the right of field there. And left. Both runs score, and it is now 3-0 Boston. So Tampa Bay and Chris Archer getting kind of whipped into shape here. Devers steps in. 1 out. Bogarts on at second. A 2-1 count. Here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and there's 2 gone. And now we have Nunez, an 0-1 count on Nunez. Here's the pitch. And there's a double off the glove of Smith. And Bogart scores. It is now 4-0 Boston. Stepping in, a 1-0 count on Leon. And there's a short fly ball to center field. Gomez camps under it and makes the catch, and the inning is over. Finally, after Boston scores 4, and they lead 4-0 after 1. And again, I can play this super fast when not streaming and not having to explain it, but when you're playing on your own, the games really, really do play fast. You'll find if you get this game, the games really do play out pretty darn fast, even with a score like this after 1 inning. I haven't had a rain out yet. I have had a rain delay, a 30-minute rain delay, which it's funny because what I did was when the rain delay came up, I sat here for 30 minutes. I made it real. I sat here for 30 minutes and waited the rain delay out, and then I resumed the game, and the game got played successfully to the end. So y'all want to see another half inning, or are you all good? That's dedication. Yeah. It is, this really is a great game. I mean, you compare it to something like National Pastime 3, and National Pastime 3 restricts you to playing an as-played schedule with as-played lineups, and the seasons that you get with it, the rosters come in as October rosters, which means you have to edit them to be April rosters, opening day rosters. That takes a lot of work. You don't really have to here. You can play You can set an as scheduled schedule. You can generate a new as scheduled schedule. Auto generate one, and you can just play. You can play to your heart's content, and that is what's really, really nice about this particular game. So, are y'all good? Do you want to see another half inning, or, because Boston's kind of up 4-0 here. Yeah, that's cool. You play how you want. Exactly. And, that is... Yeah, that's the thing. With this game, you can play how you want to play. You can play AI versus AI. You can be a human manager against the AI. You can even play both teams against each other. And you can manage both teams solitaire if you want. Really, the possibilities are unlimited. You can set up exhibition games, unscheduled exhibition games. There's a lot you can do with this game. It reminds me a bit of a tarted up Diamond Mind. Yeah, it kind of does, the thing is that unlike Diamond Mind, you're playing the computerized version of a board game. 4th Street Baseball was first a board game, and then Brian created this. It used to just be a helper, but it has become so much more than a helper, and I really think that is awesome. Can you import player photos? No. No player photos, because these little characters on the field here, those are basically representing the players. There's no photos that I know of that you can really import. Brian, maybe that could be something future down the line, player photos? What do you think? So how are y'all doing here? Y'all good, or need to see any more? Even if just on the player cards, yeah. Amanda, yeah. Even if just on the player card, that would make sense, yeah. I like photos as they add to the immersion. Yeah, they really do. Even if just on the player cards or something, that would be maybe something Brian could do that, I'll put it to him, I have quite a few things I want to put to him here. One thing that I want to put to him here is because in baseball, if you're going to have weather effect games, in baseball, it can turn cloudy and the clouds can gather and it can rain at any point. And APA Baseball for Windows does this very well. That all of a sudden you're in the middle of a game. I've had it happen where you're in the middle of a game and all of a sudden Ernie Harwell will say that the clouds have begun to gather and there is a rain delay. I have not had a rain out yet. I have had one rain delay though, and it was in the middle of the game. But this here is very, very non-dynamic, static or whatever, to where once it does the weather check before the game starts, that's the weather for the entire game. Brian, I don't know if that's what the rules were designed, but maybe you could have like an alternate rule which checks the weather every half inning or every full inning again, and rechecks it to see if there's any change in the wind, any change in the temperature, and maybe if it's starting to get cloudy, or if it's starting to rain. That would be something that I would definitely that I personally definitely would love to see maybe be something to happen, because in real life baseball, you never know, it can start raining on you at the drop of a hat, especially in Texas. Our weather can't make up its mind half the time. I am decidedly no good, just ask me, Mom. All I want to say is I think Ryan has done a good job on this game. He really, really has. And I'm just pointing out things here that I think could be, maybe changed and made it even a little bit better. He's already done a great job, on the new lineup screens. I really like that, highlighting players that are in the lineup. That is very useful. I agree, Amanda. That said, I do think the price point is a bit prohibitive. Beatles Eternally. Yes, to a point. What made me even a little bit wary about this game at first was when I first saw it, all that you got with the game was the two all-star teams when you bought the game. I went to Brian and I said, look, I think this looks like a neat game, but I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to get it just for having two all-star teams. Is there something a little more you can do? And that is how the free season on purchase came about to be. So, I don't. So really, I've addressed that with him already, and it looks like he has come to at least giving you a free season, which for me worked well for me. I don't know about others, it's going to be up to each individual buyer at this point. I didn't realize how many baseball games there are. Yes. Baseball is the number one sport for text-based sports sims out there, and there's more baseball than there is anything else. More than basketball, more than hockey, more than football, more than even soccer. I do even have a great soccer game I do want to show off on this channel eventually. But yeah, baseball is definitely got the most number of games out there. You have Out of the Park, you have Action PC, you have Diamond Mind, 4th Street, APA for Windows, Digital Diamond Baseball. There's just so many. No, I didn't say the... Oh, football. The F word, yeah. I was thinking, no, I didn't. Huh? Oh, Amanda, Beatles is not like American football. That's what that is about. Yeah. So, yeah. I mean, there's just a lot of baseball games out there, and each one does something different. I mean, APA for Windows has Ernie Harwell in a great text-to-speech, and not using the Windows text-to-speech, for that matter, play-by-play. That technology, for as long as it's been around, is still one of the best out there. 4th Street, I think, is also right up there with it, not in terms of play-by-play necessarily, but what it can do still with weather, and the myriad of features that I just went through here tonight, really makes this a complete game of its own. Then you have Out of the Park, which does practically everything. It's a sandbox. You can create fictional leagues on that. You can create historical leagues. You can play along with the real baseball season. You can play last year's season, previous year's season. You can do tournaments in Out of the Park. There's a lot you can do with Out of the Park. It is the ultimate sandbox, as others have said, and it's a great game, and it is very accurate. Out of the Park, you will find just how accurate. It's crazy scary accurate. Let's see. I probably played or owned them all. Despite spouse constantly saying I should cut back, I didn't listen. 'Tis why I shall remain single, cousin. Yep. I know what you mean there, Beatles. Yeah, but yeah, and Ken, yeah, it sounds like you do own a lot. But yeah, there's, and then you have Digital Diamond, which is kind of a cards and dice computer game. It's not based off a cards and dice board game. It's its own entity, and you can replay seasons there. You get for free. All of the seasons that are available for it are for free once you get the game. Diamond Mind, it's a simulation. It is not quite as cards and dicey as ones that I've shown, like this one and PC Replay, which PC Replay is another one out there. And then you have Action PC, which I will get to bringing up Action PC for you all sometime, because there's various sports that Action PC has as well, and it is a solid series of games that Dave has created there. Yeah, Diamond Mine is not cards and dicey at all. Great game, however. Yeah, great game. So yeah, each, and then PC Replay is a cards and dice computer version of a cards and dice board game, and it's got its own stuff too. Game simulcast. So really, when it comes to baseball sims, it comes down to what you want, what you're looking for. No baseball sim is ever going to be the ultimate perfect thing. I mean, you could try to combine all the stuff that all these games offer into one baseball sim, but I don't know that it would be possible. I really don't know that it would be possible. So, is there anything else from anybody? See you all talking about Assassin's Creed, Skyrim. Is there anything else from anybody on 4th Street here? Anything else you're curious about? You're welcome, Beatles. Is there anything else you have? I know you're you're one of the people that kind of curious about this game, can you join a guild in the Spaceball game? Can you join a guild in the Spaceball game? No, you cannot join a guild in the Space. Dave Gardner's the one that said that and basically cracked me up. Congratulations, Dave. You win a cookie. You win a cookie. Go get yourself a cookie. So, anything else from anybody? Really seriously? How about fly a dragon, Amanda? No, you can't fly a dragon in a baseball game. We are being serious. Oh man. Okay, well, it doesn't seem like there's any other really serious questions about the baseball game. So, you flew a dragon and an apple once. How did you do that one, Beatles? Well, Beatles, no, sorry, Robbie. Great job on explaining this game and showing it. Thank you, Amanda. I really appreciate that. So yeah, and I believe that you can exit. Want to quit the game before it's finished? Yes. So I'll reset it. I wonder, I just want to see something. Resume. Yep. You can, this is another thing, real quick. You can resume the game. Just click on select it on the schedule again. Click on resume. A box comes up. You select the game you want to resume. And there you are. We are right where we left off, top of the second. So yeah, you can continue the games you can exit and return the games as you want. So ooh, Robbie's gonna do the OBS warp speed effect. But yes, that OBS effect he's got nailed. He sure does, Amanda. Yep, I sure do. You know, so that effect is going to come up here momentarily for you all to tell you good night. I hope you all have enjoyed this, and I hope it really does shed some light on this game, because I know I've talked about it before in the community, and I know that there have been people interested in the game. I just have not seen it streamed a lot, and I figured maybe if people saw what it can do, that might be something to get them inspired to want to get this game. I really highly recommend it. Of course, along with it, I also recommend Apple for Windows too. If you want another game to go along with this if you want to add to your collection. These two games, Apple for Windows and 4th Street, are really the ones I highly recommend the most. So, make it so, says Beatles. Okay, Beatles wants the OBS effect. OBS effect it shall be. So, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe if you're new to the channel. And I thank you all again for coming out tonight. I hope you've enjoyed this look at 4th Street Baseball. If you have, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to stream a season game sometime. And I'll even do a secondary stream showing what it's like to play with human managers too, so that you get a feel for how that works. Right now you just got the computer versus computer experience, but I can do human versus human as well with all-star teams, because I'm not going to do that with the season, because I've already started playing AI versus AI this season, and that's what I want to continue doing with this season. So yeah, hope you all have enjoyed. Thank you very much, and I will see you all next time. Have a good night.